Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us live from the Education USA Western Hemisphere Regional Forum. My name is and we're here today to talk about the value of these kinds of regional forums that Education USA puts on. This is the second one of the fall. They've been playing catch up, as many organizations have, through the pandemic, with regards to events that were planned to happen in 2020 or 2021. This event was supposed to happen in May of 2021 and now is happening here in Costa Rica. So we're going to start off. We're in the middle of the Education USA Country Fair. So the advisors all have their tables in the main exhibit hall here. We'll be going in to take a walk around there in just a minute, say hello to a few folks. But wanted to get a quick shout out here with my old friend and colleague, Rod Malcolm from Kalamazoo College in Michigan. And welcome, Rod. Good to see you.
Thanks, Marty.
Everything well?
Excellent.
Okay. So what brings you to these kind of events, the EdUSA forums?
Mostly the networking and talking to the advisors, getting used to what the factors are to recruit their students from different regions, and basically just getting to know them personally so that we might be able to communicate, get in contact with each other if they have a student interested.
Appreciate that. And I know one of the things, you've been to a few of these over the years, and when I talk to new colleagues that are just becoming aware of Education USA and the real value that they have for universities like our own, sometimes they think, are they agents? Are they guidance counselors? What's their role? So can you kind of paint that picture a little bit for folks?
I think their role is mainly to educate counselors and young counselors in particular about access to their students. They do not actually, they're not biased with one particular institution. They just mainly give out information about studying in the U.S. So they're a great resource. I use their offices many, many times when I visit a different region. And they get me directly in contact with high schools in their area. So they are a non-biased sort of connection to schools and students in a particular area.
Right, and that's a great summary of how they really a function that can perform for U.S. higher eds. Because we know that that most of the rest of the world doesn't have guidance counselors in their high schools. So that the role that these advisors play is very similar to what a guidance counselor might do in just helping a student navigate their choices in the United States, wherever they might be looking. So appreciate you taking the time today, Rod.
You're welcome.
Enjoy. Cheers. All right, so we're going to take a walk into the expo hall here and see what the advisors are doing. And I'd like to bring in another fellow colleague here. This is Charity Alinda from Millersville University.
Hello everyone.
Hello. And Charity, we're talking today with some of the U.S. reps before we go into the country fair here, kind of sharing their thoughts on why they work with Education USA. Why do they take a week out of their time and come to an event like this, and what's the value for you and Millersville?
I mean, really, for me at Millersville, honestly, because we're looking for partners, we're building more programs and new programs, and we couldn't have found a better program to be a part of, because right now I have met more than 20 advisors from this region alone. And
in the last hour.
In the last hour. And the good thing tomorrow is going to be a reverse fair where they'll be meeting us, higher education representatives. So the value is just phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to meeting more. My program right now, I'm in charge of building short-term programs, and I have met folks who have interest in short-term programs, and it's just amazing to see. And I didn't know how much interest was there until I came here. So I'm just looking forward to meeting more people, and having Marty here is just amazing as well. So thank you for being live with us, and I'm looking forward to sharing more information with you all.
Cheers. Thank you, Charity. Appreciate it. Now, Charity's is actually filling in this week. One of his colleagues was originally supposed to be here but couldn't, unfortunately. But he stepped in and said, I can go to Costa Rica and speak with these wonderful advisors. So Charity he's the Associate Director for International Student Scholars at Millersville University in Pennsylvania. I've been working with them, consulting with them for the last year or so, last 2 years. And they have really jumped in with both feet with EdUSA. Had already previously done that with their previous SIO, Patrice Palmer. Hello, Patrice, now at University of Louisville. So real value that they see in working with an organization like Education USA. And like Charity said, the many different advisors from, there's 23 countries represented in the Education USA Forum here for the Western Hemisphere. So from Canada down to Chile, Argentina, everywhere in between, they're represented here at the forum. So we'll take a walk through and see who we see. There's an area over here for advisors to get pictures taken with headshots for whatever it might be. So really encouraging them to, the advising network is certainly professionalized in the recent years. Areta, do you have a minute?
If I have a message?
A minute to say hello?
Minute, yes.
This is my live chat that I do on Wednesdays. So
Okay.
Areta is one of my dearest friends from Brazil. She's been an advisor now for how many years?
Gosh, 21 years
21
already.
years,
Yeah,
my goodness.
21 years.
And
it's so great to meet Martin again. Yeah, so after he was my first trainer in social media.
Oh my.
Yes, and unfortunately, Martin, I have to confess, this is not my strongest skill.
That's okay. We all have many skills.
Yes,
yeah, but it's great.
So but anyway, it's a dear friend.
Yeah.
It's a dear friend. I'm really happy that I had the chance to meet you again.
Likewise,
at the
likewise.
conferences. Yeah.
Obrigado.
Obrigada a você.
Thank you. And Areta is she's based at a university in Brazil and has for many years been a good friend and helping me understand better the Brazilian market and helping me look out for institutional interests and where we might be able to partner with institutions in her country and individual students that might be looking to come to the United States and UNLV. So we'll be looking forward to reconnecting with them in the coming weeks and months. So the fair itself is in its final stages. The advisors have been sharing their treats, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough here so that you can see. We're going to be sharing. There are, as I mentioned, 23 countries represented here. Advisors from Mexico. They've got 13 advisors here. Hello, we're live. Our friends from Venezuela.
Yes, we welcome. We are from Venezuela, and we are waiting you to came to our country and recruit here.
Very
good. To have
good.
you here.
Gracias. And so wonderful assortment of advisors, and a lot of them have treats and little crafts that they're giving away to the university folks. So we now have Ecuador represented. And in Ecuador, we've got Colombia that has a major presence with advisors here. And our friends at Uruguay, they're sporting their World Cup shirts for two of their World Cup. And Dan Whitmer from Indiana University, welcome. So we're great turnout here. Over 120 advisors are represented here at the forum, and almost 100 university representatives. So they have opportunities over the next 3 days to interact. There's as one of my colleagues mentioned, there's a reverse version of this where our universities will be around tables and sharing, hello, and sharing their thoughts, and they're able to visit with us. Hello, say hello. Our friends, it's great to see our friends in Peru with a big turnout here. So in addition to the advisors that I've gotten to know over the years from my time working with Education USA, there are members of the Higher Ed Association world. There are folks from the testing communities, credential evaluators are represented here, ECE that I'm on the board for. They've been regular attendees at these regional forums, so they're also represented. But we have to share the Brazilian table here. There are now, we just met Areta and she's with her staff, and now with the Brazil table, there are 40 advising centers in Brazil now. And these 40 advising centers have, these 40 advising centers have, it's almost doubled in the last 10 years. There's my friend Gilmar, so hey Gilmar, yeah, it's good to see you. So great set of advisors here in Brazil. They brought almost all their advisors across their 40 centers represented here at the forum. So as I mentioned, almost 120 advisors are here at the conference. So as we wrap up here in the last few minutes, we're seeing our friends from Argentina represented, Aruba, and the Caribbean islands are well represented here, Dominica, Barbados, our good friend Faith Calendar from Barbados. Hello. Uh, our host country, Costa Rica, are represented here, Pura Vida. We're all living that this week. So it's a great opportunity to connect with our local hosts, representatives from Bolivia and Canada. Hello. Jenica, she's one of the original, one of the OG Canadian advisories in Education USA. And then my colleagues from Chile. I got Claudia, who I'm presenting with later. Miguel, a great group here from Chile. So as you can tell, this is a conference that is full of energy, full of opportunities for connections, full of chances to really share best practices across our regions, an opportunity to understand each other and frankly, our students. One of my challenges and opportunities, right? Every challenge is an opportunity. With my current university at UNLV, we are really going all in on Latin America and developing our relationships here across the region. And it's a different beast than recruiting in India or recruiting in China or in Europe. It's just a very different way of doing business. And part of my job as global recruitment and partnerships director is to help my university understand how universities work here, how relationships are developed here, because that is really the priority. And in terms of where we are as an institution, we're in UNLV, we're newer to the international partnership landscape, and particularly here in this region. There are some natural affinities for us as an institution here in Latin America because of the large Hispanic communities we have in the southwest of the U.S. So for me, it's important that I spend the time getting to know the advisors, these what I call the multipliers, that will help my institution get to know the region better, get to know institutions in the different countries better, so that we can find the partners that are really good fits for our institution and start small and then build programs from there that can affect not just one program, but the entire institution, and to deepen those relationships across the region. So it's a great opportunity here, as I mentioned. So we're wrapping up here with the fair in just a couple of minutes, but we're looking for some other folks that we can potentially chat to. But really happy to have the opportunity to speak with you and with each of them here and share what's happening on the ground here in Costa Rica. We are having an opportunity beyond the college fair. We're going to have a cultural outing. We always make an effort to share some of those opportunities here. And I'm going to go quickly back to my colleague Juanma. If everybody remembers, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were in.
I'm here again.
We're in Chiapas for AMPE conference, and now we're good to be back again with all our Ed USA family here in the Western Hemisphere. So, Juanma, what do you think? What about
Awesome. I just have mixed feelings. I'm really feeling really excited and proud of everybody that is here, looking at them, just networking and talking and having this great conversations. And I'm just super, super excited to have this opportunity. Yeah. It's real cool. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah.
All right, and Juanma's a great friend, as we've talked about over the last few weeks. Really helped me understand his state in Mexico when I spent that week in Chiapas. So thank you. Thank you for reconnecting, and really wanted to share with you just how much this event kind of warms my heart. I've been fortunate enough over the years to be on both sides of the desk here with Education USA. My first was actually back in 1998. Edu USA didn't even exist as a name yet. They were still called Overseas Advisors. So there was a conference in Budapest, Hungary, in August of 1998. That was my first regional Education USA regional event. That event really cemented for me the importance of these advisors in what I do in international education. No matter what institution I'm representing, When I go to these events and I have the levels of conversations that I have with these folks, these are the on-the-ground experts that help me understand their countries, their parts of the countries, because some of these nations we're dealing with, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, are large countries and represent tens of millions of students potentially across the region. So it's really important to understand the different cultures that we're trying to recruit in, and these advisors are absolutely essential. But on a personal level, when I worked with Education USA directly, and I was in Washington, D.C. for 6 years with IIE, helping with their social media, helping them better connect with higher ed folks, doing trainings. Where we are right now in San Jose, 11 years ago, I was in San Jose doing a social media workshop for EduUSA advisors from across the Western Hemisphere. And so this city also has a special place in my heart here, but these advisors are the best. They are the hardest working and unfortunately some of the most underpaid people in our business. But they pour everything that they have into their jobs and their hearts and souls. So if you're looking for someone who really knows their markets, really knows their students, these advisors are going to be should be on your list of must-dos and must-contacts and must-haves. So in terms of relationships and spending the time over the years, I've had advisors that are at this conference now that I've known for 20 years that are helping me and my new university get a better foothold in this region. And I wouldn't be able to do it without those relationships. So bottom line, wherever you go, wherever you are, having these advisors that you can rely on consistently across the region to help you better understand the market you're getting into. It's to all of our benefits to really spend that time getting to know them. So that's all we have for you this week on Midweek Roundup for SMIE Consulting. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Those of you watching live, appreciate you joining in. And for all my colleagues who've shared their thoughts on the value of these forums. So until next week, we wish you the very best. Salud.